with us from Islamabad. Faisal, what information do you have about the elections in Islamabad?
Well, the polling has already begun in Islamabad. As we know, 3 candidates are in the run for the top slot of the Supreme Court Bar Association, and that is the slot of the president. We do know that Human Rights Chairperson, Human Rights Commission of Pakistan Chairperson Asma Jahangir, former Lahore High Court President Ahmed Awais, and Supreme Court Bar Association former official Iqbal Chaudhary is in the run for the top slot. The stations where polling is scheduled to be held are scattered all across Pakistan. We've got, the main polling station in Lahore, followed by Karachi, Peshawar, Quetta, Islamabad, Multan, Bahawalpur, and Abbottabad. Let me tell you that Lahore will be the hub of election activity, as at least 1,100 out of total of 2,126 voters belong to the city, and at least 300 voters are in Karachi and Islamabad, Rawalpindi, each 200 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and 100 in Balochistan. So this is what the rough picture is at the moment of the elections of the Supreme Court Bar Association.
Right, now Faisal, talk to us about how the mood is in Islamabad. We know that there is a neck-to-neck competition between these 3 candidates, but what's the mood like in Islamabad? Who do you think will be actually winning the top slot?
Well, as we know, this is going to be a cutthroat contest between Miss Asma Jahangir and, of course, Ahmed Awais. But Chaudhry Ikram, who's the 3rd candidate, does have some following at the Supreme Court. So it would be interesting to watch how lawyers behave in Islamabad, because we do know that the previous issue of the election is missing from these elections, and the previous issue had been the restoration of judiciary, and now the lawyers are divided on political lines as well. So it would be interesting to watch how this election turns out to be.
Right, now Faisal, earlier we were talking to Mubin Chughtai in law, and he was telling us who all was backing who in this election. Now, what relevance do you think does the PPP backing have for Asma Jahangir, and what relevance does Hamid Khan's group have for Ahmed Awais?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, it is going to divide the votes on political leanings or on the basis of political inclinations. You see, Hamid Khan group traditionally clinches the votes from the right. And PPP, as you know, Asma Jahangir is being supported by it. So it is essentially going to be PPP versus PMLN versus Jamaat-e-Islami versus Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. So you're going to have People's Party on the one hand, and you're going to have these right-wing political parties on the other hand. But then, it would also come to a person's integrity, a person's career in the past, what he or she has been doing. So that is also going to be a key factor, because there are lots of senior lawyers who have their independent thinking, which is above the political considerations.
Right. Also, Faisal, now, whoever wins this election, what effect, if any, will it have on the standoff that has remained between the government and the judiciary?
Well, you see it as a standoff. I do see the situation now differently after the Supreme Court adjourns the cases which were...
What I meant, Faisal, was any standoff that has now remained, that has left after the verdict coming in from the Supreme Court.
Now, yes, it has been adjourned, and I believe that the situation is coming back to the normal, and I believe the relationship is now going to be stronger, and I believe once the cases are taken up, it would really be seen how the government behaves and how the Supreme Court puts its best foot forward, how does it deal with all those cases. Only then we will be able to say what impact this election have. And if Asma Jahangir is elected, it is a known fact that she has been writing in the newspapers, criticizing the judgment which has been rendered by these judges on the issue of NRO. And then we do know Hamid Khan group, who actively supports the independence of judiciary, and Mr. Ahmed Awais has been a part and parcel of the movement. So we do see a difference there. Ahmed Awais leaning towards the independence of judiciary, which one could safely, on the basis of which could argue that Ahmed Awais would be a far suitable candidate when it comes to the independence of judiciary or the campaign for the judiciary. And then when we talk about Asma Jahangir, a lot of people are saying that she has an independent posture, but her minus and plus would be decided in terms of the help which she is getting from the People's Party, the ruling party.
Faisal, thank you very much for that detailed update.